Have you ever been complimented so much you know the inevitable criticism is coming? You can feel it. Well, I felt it today when a YouTube and TikTok subscriber called to spend a good 2 minutes telling me how she appreciates the work that I do to help people. Yet she couldn't reconcile. It was bothering her, troubling her that I work with defendants, criminals. And apparently, I had said something in a viral TikTok video that got a couple of million views that I really enjoy working with white collar defendants, criminals. And she's like, how can I reconcile that? You're a husband, you're a father, you seem like a really great person. Like, I can't believe that you do it, Justin. There's so many other things that you can do than work with criminals. Why do you do it? I'm troubled. I don't know what to do. Please help me understand. I said, I'm happy to help you understand. And I also appreciate the fact that you do not view me as a criminal. I've been home for a long time and I've worked to change the narrative. And I ask people to take the totality of my life into consideration rather than bad choices I made 20 years ago. Not everyone does, of course. But I said, I've worked to change the narrative. Can you appreciate the fact that people that we help at White Collar Advice are also working to change the narrative? Are working to demonstrate what they've learned? Yeah, I get it, Justin. But do you know some of the people who are committing crimes? Do you see the frauds and the doctors and the Medicare and some of the people with whom you work? These are really bad people, right? I said, whoa, you sound like a probation officer or a prosecutor here. Some of them made really bad decisions, just like I did. And those bad decisions create victims, embarrass their family, ruin their reputation, and send many of them like me to the wrong side of prison boundaries. Have you ever made a bad decision? Of course I have. Don't give me that spin. Of course I made bad decisions. When you made a bad decision, did you seek forgiveness? Yes, of course I did. How? By talking about it or doing it. The people with whom we work at White Collar Advice, the reason I love working with criminals, white collar, I'm one of them. I think like them. I know what it's like to make a bad decision. I know what it's like to know that it's wrong and do it. I can recall as vividly as yesterday being 28 years old, sitting at a lunch meeting in Century City when I heard something that was wrong, and then rather than stop it, I then said something that was wrong and fraudulent and under some ridiculous rationalization that it wasn't my fault, I don't manage the money. Watch the videos to learn the rationalizations I engaged in. So I did things deliberately that were wrong. And as I said it, I knew that it was wrong. It's no different from so many of the fine people with whom we work. My friends who came to my wedding, with whom I golf and spend time. And yes, if you were to Google them and read these press releases, they are horrific, awful. But I know they can become better. I know it. With white collar crime, there is an ostracism, right? We are forgotten about, cast aside, kicked aside, greedy, arrogant, entitled. There is an otherness that accompanies this crime, and I understand it. And I'm competitive, and I work every day to overcome it, to think like an underdog, embrace a new way to approach it by telling my story openly. When people told me that I was crazy, shut up, don't talk about it, run, you'll find something else to do. Nope, I'm an underdog. I'm going to think differently. I'm going to own it. I'm going to talk about it. Let people judge me for who I'm becoming rather than choices that I made. We can all become better. And even as I'm saying this, I'm not persuading her. I'm not swaying her. She then said, well, yeah, but they do some really bad things. I said, well, so did I. So did I. And I went to prison. We're not seeking sympathy. We want all of you to know, we know that it was wrong, and we know that there are significant consequences. And we know if someone gets cancer, of course that person will have sympathy and empathy because they didn't choose it. Yet we know when we engage in a white collar crime, we don't get that level of empathy or sympathy because we chose to do it. We chose to break the law, create victims and harm people. We chose to do it. Yet, as human beings, we can become better. And throughout this phone call, my goal wasn't to persuade her. My goal was for her to recognize that in time, the way that this caller views me as a husband and dad is the way that I want all of the criminals with whom we help to be viewed by their loved ones or their fans or people who are in their network. because I said the way that you are viewing some of the people we help is exactly how you would have viewed me 14 years ago. And that was a challenge that I had, to have someone like you call me. And rather than focus on the bad that I did, you just spent 2 minutes applauding who you think I've become. And I'm grateful for that. We want everyone in our community to experience that. We want everyone, many of whom are suicidal and depressed and can't get out of bed and feel forgotten about. We want them to know that there's a path moving forward. And your call confirms what I hope to accomplish beginning 14 years ago in a federal prison with Michael Santos, that in time, people won't view me for my criminal actions, but rather the person I'm striving to become. And I hope every one of our clients, the people with whom we work, the people that care for them, come to that same realization. So it was just a very engaging phone call. And I knew, like I said, 60 seconds in, I said, oh, this is too many compliments. There's too many niceties here. She's saying too many nice things. The hammer is about to drop. And then there came the buts and howevers. I have something to tell you. So, Anne, thank you so much for the phone call. I told you I was going to film this video. I'm so grateful that you follow us on White Collar Advice YouTube and TikTok and all that good stuff. I'm proud to work with criminals. I'm proud to work with people who want to change the narrative. I'm proud to work with people who want to demonstrate through their own actions what they've learned, how they're going to identify and make their victims whole. I'm proud to help people who are struggling, and we can help them get better day by day by day, not through happy talk, but through actions and a plan, and document it through some very difficult circumstances. And as long as I'm around, I'm going to continue to do it and work with what many people call supposed criminals, many of whom are my closest friends in the world. And I identify and I understand them in a way that I think very few people can. Thank you for watching this sort of random impromptu video. Goodbye.